On this episode of RC Kicks, we've got the LCRacing EMB-1 to unbox and show you. This one's going to be a tricky one, so stay tuned to find out why. Hi and welcome to RC Kicks. On today's show, another unboxing, and this is one that you have asked for. And I bought this with my own money because a lot of you have got in contact and said, Gavin, you need to get an LCRacing on the channel because we know you're a big fan of the WLToys. Oh, 124019, yes, the names are terrible and I'm old, so I cannot learn all these new numbers, so that's why I have my piece of paper. So I'm going to struggle with names, so bear with me on that front because they're awful. All of them are awful when it comes to names. Anyway, so why have I got this? Well, a lot of you got in contact and saying, since you're a big fan of the WLToys, this is what it was based on, so you need to get one of these in to take a look at the quality and how it drives and things like that. And I looked at it and I thought that's a really good idea because it's not as black and white, as straightforward as you might think. Okay, so let's open it up and see what you get inside. So LCRacing have a whole range of cars. I've got this came with it. So basically you've got a 1/10 LC10B5, then you've got a 1/12, which is LC12B1, EMB-1, which is this one, which is 1/14. Then they do a 1/14 sort of truck, and then you've got a sand buggy kind of thing, which is an EMB-SC, which is 1/14, a road car 1/14, which is EMB-WRC, and then you've got a buggy, sand desert truck buggy thing, it's EMB-DT. So if you look carefully at these, you can see there's a lot of similarities between this and some of the WLToys. So obviously they're very close. So then you get some instructions of the actual buggy. Packaging wise, very good, reasonably happy with the box. Looks a little bit more high grade quality than the WLToys one. Packaging is fine, no issues at all. And this is what the buggy. Now the comparable WLToys buggy that kind of fits this one is called the 144001. But the one that I've got, the 124019, is basically just a longer wheelbase version of it. What else have we got? Then we got the remote. So from a packaging point of view, yeah, no issues whatsoever. I think it will come without any damage at all. That's kind of pretty. It's a Fly Sky remote. Huge, great battery tray at the bottom. And that is pretty much it. So from a remote point of view, yeah, it's fine. It's a Fly Sky, pretty basic one. Yeah, it's got your usual trim, throttles, power, and that kind of stuff in here. I like the top. It's a bit stealth-like. The wheel is pretty standard. It's plastic. There's no rubber on it. And it takes 4 AA batteries. This seems quite big along the bottom, which is a bit strange. But yeah, I wouldn't say this was any different from a quality point of view. I'm guessing the range might be a bit better, but quality-wise, yeah, it does the job. Still pretty basic, to be fair. And now let's have a look at the car. So, very pretty car, very dinky. So again, you've got the aluminium along the bottom. I mean, it all feels quite good quality from that point of view. Now, if you take the WLToys and have a look, yes, you can see they are very close. You know, if you look at the front design, and then you got this. They're very, very similar, same cutouts and everything. So yes, you can see that one is basically a direct copy from the other. Now, from a quality point of view, yeah, I would say this is a higher quality car. The tyres have got sponge in them, whereas the WLToy ones don't. Tyre quality feels, yeah, pretty much the same. Suspension wise, yeah, it's pretty good. The WLToys one, again, the thing that makes it difficult for me is when I look at the price points of these cars, because I've got the price points here and I'm trying to think who's going to buy this and who is going to buy this. And obviously you've got to look at it that you know, as someone who is getting RC cars on the show to show you, I'm getting cars that I probably wouldn't purchase myself, but I like to try and think of who is the demographic, who is the person that's going to buy that, and why would they buy that, and why should they buy that versus other cars that are available, and to try and find a niche for it, or why someone would purchase one over the other. So let's talk about the WLToys. Oh God, was it 124109 or the 144001, which is more what this is based on. Now, price-wise, this is 80 something pound, £88.31 as a ready to run. Now, if you add the 20% import tax on and things like that, you'll then also throw in a LiPo charger. It does come with a USB charger, but they're so rubbish that it's worth spending the £17.99. So you're looking at £123.96 for this. And it's a very good car. Drives very well, very quick. It's not brushless. It is a brushed motor, a 550 motor. Quality wise, no, it's not as good as this. It's not quite there. The plastics are not quite there, but it's half the price. And this is where it gets really, really interesting, because that's why I love this. I love this for the price it is and what you're getting, bang for buck. Now, is this a better buggy? Well, I haven't driven it yet. We're going to drive it to see, and it may drive a bit better than this. Now, this is really good to drive anyway. So, is it worth twice the money? Now, let's open it up and take a look inside. And I think that's where you really start to see where your money goes. Because if we open this up, what you've got is a lot higher quality electronics. You've got a little tiny brushless motor, which is an ES 4-pole 4500 kV, tiny little motor, which is probably going to shift anyway. A reasonable 35 amp brushless ESC, a separate receiver, very tiny little receiver. I like that. That's really nice. And then you've got a little tiny servo, which I can't read, Dartan, something like that, D115F. So, and it's packaged up well, and you've got a good battery strap. So there's quality inside, where when you open up this one, this when you start to see where it was let down, where they saved their money. So basically that's the inside. And then if you look at this one, I'll put some more close-up shots so you can see it. And that's where I think the money has gone, in the electronics side of things. Both of them have got full bearings and they look so similar. I mean, the arms are identical. You can tell the plastics are slightly different, but the designs are almost exactly the same. I'd say the suspension is marginally better on the LCRacing. This one cost me, let's have a look. I've got the prices here. So the cheapest price I could find, the LCRacing one, was £159.84. And it was £16.86 delivery. Now, I'm not going to talk about delivery on all of these because it will vary where you are and stuff like that. So it just muddies the water. But you've got to add on top of that 20% import tax, which is going to be taking it to £191.80. Then it needs a charger because it doesn't come with one. So I found a LiPo charger for £17.99, which is a pretty standard one. Well, I've got 2 of those and they work good enough, so that's fine. So if you add that up, you're looking at a total of £209.79. And that's where I get a bit confused, because 123, 209. Yes, you get better electronics. Yes, you get slightly better build quality. So is it worth it? That's a personal choice between the two. I honestly don't know. But that's not my biggest challenge with this. My biggest challenge is, can you, once you start getting into this money, then you're knocking at the door of something like, where are you? Like this. Now this is a fully raced up one, but just a Neo Scorcher. So I priced up a Neo Scorcher, and this is 1/10, remember, because I wanted to know whether you could get into a Neo Scorcher from Tamiya. How much more to go from something like this to this? So I priced up the best deals I could find for a Neo Scorcher. So £109.55 was the best price I could get for a Neo Scorcher. Then you need an ESC because it doesn't come with one. That was £17.99. Then I said you've got to have bearings. These all have bearings, so you should have bearings. So I managed to get bearings for £10.10. Then it needs a transmitter receiver. I priced up a Fly Sky remote, a GT3C. Then you need a tin of paint. You might not necessarily get if you get one that's pre-painted, but I assume that you would, so that's £6 for a tin of paint. Now you need a LiPo battery, so I've got a 4000 milliamp battery, and that was £20. Then you need the charger as well, which was £17.99, and then you need a servo, so I picked up the standard servo that I would use, and that was £11.50. Then because you're probably going to use a TBLE02, it runs a 2S LiPo, but it won't support it for cutoff, so you need to get a LiPo alarm, so they're about £6. So that's going to get you a Neo Scorcher fully running on 2S LiPo with a standard silver can motor. And that worked out to be £229.13. And this is where it's a real challenge for me now, because the LCRacing is £209.79. So you're only £20 different between this and this. Not this exact one, obviously, but a standard Neo Top Force. And it's a 1/10. And it's got bearings, and it's 2S, and it's using a good transmitter receiver that I'm really happy with, that I've used, which is better than the one that you get in the kit. And that's my biggest challenge with this, where LCRacing is. This I can understand because I'm only at 123 and this is at 229. So you're looking at almost double. So this makes sense to me. I really understand this. But the quality is not as good as this, for sure. The biggest one for me that I think I like about this one is because of its size. This is perfect for putting in a rucksack when you're just going out. So if you're just someone who is going to go out with the family, you're going to go out for a walk, or you're going out for the day, taking something like this in a backpack, because it's so small, is a much better option than taking this. Or if you've got a small back garden, then this is not really going to work in a small back garden. I mean, it barely works in my garden. Whereas this would be much easier in a garden, for instance, or out the front. So that's my problem, is why wouldn't you just get this? Whereas if you go to this, you might as well have this. And that's why I really struggle. I really struggle with that. So comment below, what do you think? But let's go take this out for a spin and we will see if it changes my mind at all. So let's go out and blast around the garden. else can I tell you about it? Well, it is lovely to drive. It is great fun. It's fast enough. It's really responsive. And if I'm honest, it does drive better than the WLToys. In fact, overall, I would say this is a better buggy. It just is. From quality, responsiveness, the electronics that are in it, it is a better buggy. But hold on, it's twice the price. And that's where the real rub starts to come. This is not a bad buggy, but at twice the price, is that twice as good? Now, if you said to me, which one do I want to keep? I would keep this one. I would rather have this than this, but at twice the price. And then if you said to me, yeah, okay, well, you can have this, or you can have a Tamiya Neo Scorcher, that's where it starts to get really difficult. But we haven't got to the times yet. So, do you want to know how fast this went around the Bugrad track? It did it in 7:73. 7:73 puts it in first place. This is the fastest buggy ever around the Bugrad track. Well, if you add that into it, what do I know? So it's very, very quick, very, very fast, very nimble. And to be fair, the Bugrad track is a small, nimble track, so this is perfectly suited to it. Short wheelbase, rotates very well on the corners, plays into the track that I'm actually running on versus a lot of other ones. The only thing that let this down is it didn't run spiked tires, so I had a little bit of slipping, but I could still get it to flip over as well. So to round up, yes, it's a great buggy. Is it for everyone? No, it's not, because you're paying a premium. Do you have the budget? If you do, buy this one instead of this one. But if you have the money, think very hard whether you'd rather go for something like a Tamiya Neo Scorcher, because you can get a Neo Scorcher for pretty much what this is. So it's totally personal choice. Comment below what you think. Do you think you'd rather have a Neo Scorcher all day long, or do you think this is definitely the way to go? Or do you think it's worth saving the £100-odd and just sticking with this buggy, which is actually really good anyway? Thanks so much. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.